And welcome in, readers. I am Ook, and joining me for yet another chill pill, I have got this month's silver champion, and one of the rising stars of the Dr. Mario scene, ArcherLewys. Archer, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, we were
Looking forward to this.
we were talking about the time difference, and I'm still, I made the joke one time leading into a stream. It was good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good grief, what are you doing up, to everybody out there. And I think you kind of fall in that last category.
Yeah.
But oh, I don't have you turned up nearly enough. I've got it set for video games, not for people talking. All right, so people start telling me it's quiet, or worse, they won't. uh, so
That's always the fear that when people don't tell you.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm way too loud. There we go. All right, I should have us about leveled out. So
Excellent.
we're going to be talking about Silver Bracket. First off, congratulations about Saturday, because I mean, that's the biggest bracket you've won yet.
Mm, yeah.
And
Sorry, I just letting you know Joss is a friend of mine.
gotcha. Okay, cool, 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 cool. And I'll just let you know that my follower chat is on a 10-minute timer. So thanks, Josh, for getting in early. Um, yeah. So second tournament win and you've only been in the
Mm.
scene for a little less than a year, right?
Yeah, I started doing tournament play. I June was my first one. I would have tried to in May, but something came up. I think I had to go out the same day as the tournament, and I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no way I'd have enough energy to do both." So
Right.
I had cancelled it for the month, and then was like, you know what, I'll jump in on in June, and rest is history, pretty much.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me on Saturday. I was hoping I would be able to get into the tournament, but I knew I had to work, and my work lets out like an
Mm.
hour after the tournament starts. And yeah,
Oh yeah.
as soon as we were getting ready to leave the building, I turned it on, and you and JB were playing. I was like, well, yep, I wouldn't have been able to make it home. So yeah, these things happen. A lot of players, you'll go first. You think you're going to be able to make it, and then you can't. We have some drops every month, but
Mm.
really glad that you have been a part of the scene. You were my vote for newcomer of the year last year. Uh, no
Oh, thank
offense,
you.
no offense to Pangolin. Pangolin deserved it. I'm not gonna lie, but
Oh yeah.
I think if we'd had a
Yeah.
separate speed one, you'd have taken the cake.
Mm. Yeah, no, Pangolin's playing has been. Like, I've seen her play a few times, and she's just out of this world with the versus play. It's ridiculous. It's very scary.
Yeah, yeah. I am lucky so far to have avoided the Pangolin inverses curse of
Mm.
having Pangolin, I guess. But I know that day is coming. I don't know which tournaments she's going to be at. We're still kind of waiting on knowing exactly what our live schedule is going to be. But I
Mm.
have a feeling I'm going to have to face Pangolin at some point in the next year or so. And I'm not looking forward to it because she's scary.
And I went against her. I've been against her once on Fightcade, and it was a wash. Like she beat me very easily, but I'd like to think I at least gave a bit of a challenge. Like I try my best, but you gotta know when your opponent is much better than you are.
Yeah, I
God,
faced that a
very
lot of
very
times.
scary opponent.
You remind me of one of the few times I've played on the Switch. It was against Swang, and this was before he'd won
Mm.
any of his championships, and I couldn't even like get anything happening. I was like, yeah, good game, and then went and turned the Switch off and threw it across the room, and vowed never to play again because he's just so much better.
Yeah. I've played against him on Fightcade as well, just as a friendly match, like not even as a first or two or anything like that. Yeah, no, but complete wash. God, I watched the Torg Championship. I
Hmm.
watched it on stream, and just watching his play style is incredible. Like there's a lot of playstyles that I admire. Swans is one of them. Betty's is another, honestly. Like, I mean, I watch Betty a lot. Like, a very good friend. Um, just combo plays like that is just it blows my mind. And Swang's ability to survive no matter where he is on the board is just phenomenal. Like, no words for it really from me.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned you watch Betty a lot. I gotta say it shows. We'll probably talk about this a lot as we're watching your play.
Mm,
You've got a very Betty style. Like and I have a few Betty tendencies, so I get it. I've joked in the past that she and I share this whole magpie brain because it's as soon as something shiny shows up, we're both like, gotta get that combo.
yeah.
That's a great combo. I've got to make it. But yeah, and her style is very focused on a versus style play. So
Mm.
I'm not surprised to hear that you play a lot on Fightcade. What are the odds that someday we have an Archer appearance at Torg or at the RMC Championships, wherever they may be held?
Oh. Honestly, I would love to be able to attend. It's honestly just down to price. Like
Yeah.
flights are not cheap.
Oh no, I know. That's
But
why I
like
asked.
if I could I would if I could do it this year, 100% would, but as I said,
Yeah.
like if I have the opportunity to, I'm taking the first opportunity essentially. Like
Right.
100% want to take part at some point. Be brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I know what it costs to fly from Florida to Ohio. I can't imagine trying to fly across the Atlantic to get here.
Mm,
So that is another
yes.
thing. You're easily one of the top five players in Europe. I'd say
Yeah,
it's probably a little
Adelito's
higher
number
than that.
one.
Actually, I asked Adelito, and he lives on the Asian side of Turkey, so he's not
Oh,
actually
all
in
right.
Europe. I would have assumed, Istanbul being the size that it is, that
Yeah.
most anybody from Turkey, that's the obvious place to assume they're from. Nope, he is not. He's from the continent. So,
Oh, that's a surprising news. Like,
I mean, I guess
there's a chance.
if you count Turkey's EU membership, then there's that. I mean, you could squeeze the whole of Turkey
I
on.
mean, if you count the UK's EU
Yeah,
membership,
well,
then I'm
there's
no
that. That's
longer
a
in
whole nother
Europe,
thing.
apparently.
Oh me. So yeah,
Oh
but
dear.
do you think there could be a European scene sometime in the next few years?
I honestly, as I said, it's mostly to do with cost. But if I can end up anywhere in Europe to do any kind of tournaments, I 100% would. Like, I'm not crossing any potential out. Like
Right.
it's a case of if the possibility arises. Like even if there's something in England, I'd probably be like, interesting. Definitely keeping my eye on things. I
Right.
think is the best way to put it.
I mean, there was an attempt to create a Polish tournament a year or two ago. Nothing, it got canceled. There were some logistical issues with it, but I think
Mm.
I think Europe could be a really, it could be a really good place to find new talent in this game. We had a player a couple of years ago named Yume who is in Switzerland. Nestonk, I think, is in Finland. Prey, of course, in Scotland. Yourself. It seems like the scene is burgeoning. If we could just
Mm.
hold tournaments at a decent hour for our European counterparts.
That's the thing too. Is like if we hold competitions that are quote unquote sensible hours, it's typically quite early in the day for y'all. So it's like trying to find that nice
Right.
medium because there is obviously a big audience in the Americas, like
Right.
the whole of the continents. Um, and I mean, there are obviously, I think T. Pullman is German, if I remember rightly,
You're
or
right.
in that area. So we got another European fellow,
You're
which
right. I
is
had forgotten
quite
about
nice
that
to know.
because I noticed his stream was in
I
German.
remembered because I yeah, I noticed his title was in German, and it said CET, which is Central European Time, and I was like, oh, a European,
Right.
interesting.
I had completely forgotten I'd seen that. There are
Mm,
others. There's one named Phoenix who had, I think she'd qualified once and maybe didn't. I don't think she's ever actually competed, but we got pretty close when I joined the scene. We were kind of pushing each other, getting new speedrun times around the same
mm,
time. She's in the Netherlands and is a formidable enough player. Yeah, there could really be a scene. I had hoped at one point
mm,
to put a tournament on that was held at like 6 a.m. on the east coast of the U.S. for specifically for Eurasian players. That was a time that was
mm,
just early enough in Europe and just late enough in Japan to be reasonable.
mm.
But yeah, nothing ever really came of it. We talked about it, but there, I don't know. Maybe it's time to revisit that. You're a pioneer, my friend.
Well, obviously, let's see what the future holds for that. That would be quite exciting if we get more, more European blood in the scene. It'd be quite nice.
Agreed. Agreed. So tell me a little about how you got into Dr. Mario as a whole, and then kind of what led you to the scene.
Well, okay, so initially, my first experience with Dr. Mario was actually just a few years ago. Um, I I never grew up with like with SNES or NES or anything like that. I mean, like I think my earliest console may well have been like Game Boy Advance and like
Mm,
Xbox 360, that kind of thing. So
mm,
I was never in the NES scene or anything like that on Nintendo 64. Um, but anyway, so yeah, a few years ago, a friend of mine actually was streaming for his and his partner's anniversary,
oh yeah.
and they're what they've said that every year on their anniversary they play Dr. Mario together versus
Mm-hmm.
on low, mind you. Which and even then they said they find it quite difficult occasionally. Which given how much I've played now blows my mind. But obviously everyone's going to find it, you know, everyone has every kind of skill level,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But anyway, so I was watching them play and I was like, this looks interesting. This looks fun. I'd played a bit of Tetris before, so I was like
Always
kind of
Tetris.
familiar with the concept of that kind of game. Um, but I was just like, this game looks interesting. This game looks quite fun. Um, and then, funnily enough, that same day, my said friend had finished his stream. I was like, we're gonna raid out to a Dr. Mario player and see if there are any Dr. Mario players. Who did we go and raid? Betty
Betty.
B plays
Mm-hmm.
G's. And that was back in I think like maybe 2021, 2022. It was quite early on. It was early on Betty's
Mm-hmm.
speedrunning scene. Like it was I think not long after she'd started, if I remember her saying.
Yeah,
But
that's about right.
it's just a funny how that kind of works its way in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't really get. I mean, I'd watched Betty play and speedrun and everything quite a bit after that, but I didn't get into the scene properly until a bit after I got a Nintendo Switch, honestly, because I didn't even realize you could play Dr. Mario on an emulator or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the time, and so I didn't get into it until a little bit after I got a Switch, because I found out I can play this on the NES emulator on the Nintendo Switch. And it wasn't until a bit after that, it was about 2 years ago now when I fully started getting into speedrunning Dr. Mario, because it was not long after I got a second monitor, because I got a second monitor right around the Christmas period.
Hmm.
I think as a gift. And it made being able to stream and like do the sharing of screens and everything on OBS a lot easier than it would have been if I only had the one screen. And so yeah, from then on out, about 2 years to the day, pretty much. It was around this time 2 years ago I started speedrunning Dr. Mario, and yep, never looked back.
So the exact same and I kind of have a race most of the time to see who can get to a new Dr. Mario streamer first. Did either one of us come in and be like, "Hey, we want to see you in the tournament"? I seem to remember I did that, but I don't know that I did.
I can't remember. I think you may well have done. I know quite a few people had been egging me on to
Hmm.
do the tournament in Betty's chat anyway. So it was like I feel like you may well have done first though. But my memory is rubbish just for
Oh, it's
anything
fine.
that that goes past like a week. So um but no, I know quite a few people, especially like around this time last year, were being like, just qualify, just do it, just jump into it, just do it, it'll be fine, like stop being scared. And especially Slay was like, you've got to just qualify, just do it. Just do it already, you're good enough, you
Yeah.
know. And it's just like, but am I though? And then I finally did it in May, and then again in June, and you know now I'm just like, wow, what was I so afraid of?
Right. Yeah, this the first time my wife ever saw a tournament match, she was just like, I didn't realize that there would be commentary and all of this going on. I mean, thanks to
Hmm.
how well Dave does all this, and I think Betty has talked about trying to do some restreaming. Larva's done some in the past. And the quality of everything we've got going on, the quality of the commentary and everything, I could see how it could be intimidating, but yeah, once you're really deep in the Discord, this community is, if nothing else, very devoted to getting fresh faces in, because
Hmm.
partially because we're all just getting old. I said earlier, I'm 40 and I am not the oldest person in this community by a stretch. We're it's going to be very difficult for us to maintain this level of play for another 2 decades. We're going to need some fresh
Hmm.
blood. So yeah, it's always great to see new players come in, though. It really is.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nice to have someone who's just even if they're like just dipping their toe in it, if even if it's just like I forgot what I was gonna say, but basically fresh faces, 100%, really good thing to see. Yeah.
hmm. Hmm. So
That,
you pulled a 16. You pulled a low 16 this month already. I know you were saying when we were chatting before we came on stream that you're thinking about a requal. Um, I believe in you. I believe you've got a 17 in you. And I was looking
yeah,
at your
I think I can get it.
all time matches. And I was like, no, you haven't been in the main bracket yet. It shocks me with the quality of play that you put out. I'm waiting around to see you hit that 14, 15 seed already. Higher, we've seen silver players
Hmm.
who just all of a sudden, whatever it is in the brain just clicks and they suddenly get a much higher seed. So I cannot wait to see that happen with you.
Hmm. Yeah. I think I was very close to the 16 seed last month. I mean, I was in the number one seed for silver,
Right.
but I think if I recall correctly, I think Watch Tees qualified like last minute, and that knocked me
happen.
down, and I was just like, you know what, I'm happy about that because it means I don't have to go against Adelito.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it's a rite of passage, but I'm not ready for that.
yeah. The difference between you and Rez was two viruses.
Mm,
Resumatic also somebody I don't know where they live. Might be in Europe, might be in the US. I don't know. I'm sneaking onto their channel right now just to see. They don't have an about me, do they? Okay, very little. But yeah, it's you're right. It was just two viruses away. And if you look
mm,
back, I don't know if you've done a lot of research into the past of the tournament, but we have had people like, especially in the early months, a good 16 would have gotten you one of the top seeds just
mm.
regularly. The idea of somebody getting into 18 ever was not even on our radar. So you're already at the level that a lot of us were at when we started the tournament, and it's not going to be long at all. We're going to see you
Mm.
skyrocketing your way through.
Yeah, it does. It does. I both appreciate it and find it very amusing that like I've heard people say that, or they're like, "Oh, Archer's been in gold before, hasn't he?" And I'm just like, "No, I've never been in gold." I appreciate you assuming that, but
Yeah, I
that's not true.
I assumed it. I thought for sure you'd made a 16 seed once, but no, it's coming. It's coming. It may be coming this month. We'll have to see.
If if that requal goes to plan, I'm hoping. I think I have the potential with what I did off stream yesterday because as I was saying when we were chatting pre-stream, I got out of 16 with a 30-43 because this was just a full run. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to practice. Um, so if maths is gonna help me in this moment, I think I got to about like maybe 16-20 by the 30-minute mark, maybe lower than that, or yeah, but lower than that in the sense you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think a good 16 is just well in the wings. I just need to stream it.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's coming. It's absolutely coming. And all right, I guess we can quit dancing around it and get right into talking about what happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, okay, the I don't remember who the 8 seed was. Let me look that up real quick because it was Sportsy. So you had JB and Sportsy. You got a chance to watch JB play before. Um, what's your pregame ritual look like these days? How do you stay warmed up?
Typically, typically just practicing the level bracket that I'm going into. Like, I typically on tournament days, I will start stream like 2 hours prior to when we jump in. Partly because that also gives Dave time to
Yeah.
get the things all pulled up and everything, and it's just helpful. Um, but also it means that it gives me time to practice and get ready and shake any nerves, and there are a lot out of my system. And even then, sometimes the nerves don't fully get out until like a game into the tournament, which is but honestly what happened in the tournament. I think that is what happened because I mean, you'll see.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I don't really need to say much more about it until we're watching it, obviously.
Yeah. I had a thought. Oh, so you've got a chance to watch JB. Do you listen to the commentary while you're playing or no?
While I'm playing, on like while I'm on for our matches,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I will go back and watch it afterwards. But like because I find too much noise, I get overwhelmed with it. Like it's a sensory thing, and I
Oh yeah.
get distracted. Um, I'd rather just like if I'm gonna listen to anything, it'll just be music and just the game sounds and just all systems go. And then I might obviously I'll go back after stream and everything. I'll go and listen to it and see what they said, see what I could do better with,
Sure.
and yeah.
So, take me through your mindset. I've got it pulled up right now. Of course, you're seeing it, and I understand you're going to be a few seconds behind, or a second or so behind. I'll try to, when I pause,
Mm,
give you a second to catch up before I start talking about whatever pill is coming up. But you've got JB in
right.
front of you. You've got a chance to see him play. Take me through that mindset. Where are you right there? I know you're nervous, but past that, are you feeling kind of confident? Are you is there anything that you're trying to change in your game to make sure that you're ready, or are you just like, I'm going to play my game and not worry about what's on the other side of the screen?
I think I think it was my mindset in that moment was, aside from nerves, was I was excited first of all because it's first off there's this whole, I guess, fun little rivalry that we've got going on now. Like, it's very
Mm-hmm.
entertaining to me. I think it's very fun. Um, and I'm just like, okay, whatever happens, these are going to be some good matches. Like, I'm going to try my best, going to do the best that I can. And playstyle wise, it was a case of like, I'll try and see if I can optimize how I normally play so that it's just constant optimization, constant ways to try and find faster ways to solve things, that kind of you even on the fly almost, like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I see that you and JB have played. This is your fourth time playing each other, and he'd
Mm.
beaten you in the finals of your first tournament. I remember that one. That one I remember because we were all like, "Who is this kid? Where are they coming from? What on earth?" Most people don't do this well their first tournament. Not when we've got a really solid squad of silver bracket players. And then, JB took you
Mm.
down again in October, but then you won in December. So, yeah, I can see how this rivalry is really kind of picking up.
Yeah, it's like the June championship especially was very very fun because as you said, it was like the finals, like first ever tournament, just out of nowhere. And I'm not surprised that I lost, but the fact that that was such a stacked tournament in the first place, I was amazed I got through the first round. It was a time.
All right, so here we are. We're looking at level four. Of course, 4 to 7. It's uh, such an odd level block. The original choice of 6 to 9, as I understand it, was to avoid all the uncertainty that you get in level 0 to 4. You've got so
Mm.
much more that can happen at the top of the, weirdnesses that can happen. And, you don't want to start them on 5 because then you've got an animation after and all that. Uh, but, at this point, I like both the boards, and I'm seeing a double yellow for you. I'm going to assume you're looking at column 7. Or are you thinking drill it straight down?
I think I think it was an either or kind of situation. Like, I may well have even like mentally paused a second, just like, where am I going to put this?
Right.
I may well have even put it horizontally for 7.
Interesting.
This game, I can't remember like exactly how the first board went because I just remember it being scuffed as anything. It was not my best for, but
Yeah, the only reason I have a tendency towards 7 here is keeping the board as even as possible. Something I picked up from Swong some
hmm.
time ago, and a yellow red. Okay, what about a yellow blue? That could go. Okay, so yeah, let's see what you do. Let's see what happens. You go vertically there. It looks like you're going to go into 6 7 with this yellow red. And then, I hope you see the double blue over in columns 1 and 4. I'm hoping that's what you do because that would be just fun.
I don't think I did that because I think I got laser focused somewhere, but it wasn't there. It
Oh,
wasn't one and
interesting.
four.
Oh, I see what you're about to do. And this is an example of the sort of thinking um, that works really well in verses, and it plays like verses. So you're about to drop this in
Yep.
8 and then drop your next pill in 8. It's
Mhm.
such a verses play.
Uh, It's a very, very magpie coded.
Yeah, it is. It is. But so this is it used to be horizontals were the thing. There was a time early
Mm,
on in the DRMC history where we believed that because horizontals trigger first, that meant that they came out faster. So the meta became let's everybody do horizontals, do horizontals, do horizontals. And even players who were just learning the game, like I was at the time, we would start getting laser focused on these horizontals to the detriment of literally everything else. It's like once you learn how to do
mm.
something really well, all of a sudden you forget how to do anything else. So yeah, I mean this T is or this L clear you're about to do is amazing. I don't know if it's faster, but it certainly is the prettiest one.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of the flashy plays. Unfortunately for my
Oh,
speed play, you know,
okay,
I
you didn't
think
go with that.
what may have happened afterwards is a misflip, though. I feel like there was something a bit scuffed that happens afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, putting this double blue, I can see what you were thinking, but I also think you put the double blue into column 8. I just realized you can't see my mouse. You put the double blue into column 8, then you put this yellow blue directly on top of it. You'll clear the blue in 8, you'll clear the yellow horizontally, and now you've got, room to do whatever.
Mm,
But yeah, it's a different way of doing things. So now you're waiting on a red yellow. So, okay, let's see what happens.
yeah.
Okay, I like that. That works. Yeah, and you just basically had to take it. That makes sense. There's your misplay. Yeah.
I knew there was a misplay with something. I was like, where is it? It's not. It's here. There it is.
Well, and it's not too bad because you still have that drop onto the yellow down the side.
Mm,
So, there's always some good that can come out of most misdrops, at least early in a level. So, playing cleanup here.
yeah. Here is where I take the double blue.
Nice.
There. I
Always
knew it happened at some point, but it wasn't at the beginning.
always happy to see that happen. There's the red yellow you needed. All right.
Mhm.
And at this point, you're keeping your pace. You're really dependent on yellow at this point. Even though you've got a red virus, yeah, that makes the most sense. So there go the yellows. Now you get your reds, and you get red rushed at just the worst time.
It wasn't the worst red rush I think I've ever had, though,
No, no, it was
thankfully.
only like two.
I got red yellows at the end, so I couldn't be too mad about it.
And I honestly I hate this board for you. It's so heavy with yellow on top. I don't even.
Yeah, I think when I first saw the board, I was just like, ew, what
Yeah,
is this?
there's the big brain combo. But yeah, now you've left yourself needing to figure out this yellow horizontally just so you can continue the board. There it goes. Yeah. It's a tough place to be. I do like the stack
And
you're making right there. I always joke drop time doesn't count when
especially
it's
that,
when it's a combo.
mm,
It does, unfortunately, but
uh, at the very least, it looks nice. So
yeah. and again dependent on yellow late in the board. Because even to get your garbage cleared out, I think I almost would have put that double yellow down. Okay, now you use just two blues and you're out of it. So yeah,
Mm.
good end game vision. Very nice. This board's better. Yeah, feel free to stop me
I
if
think
there's
this board I started. I think this board I got hung up on something. I think it may well have been my end game. I got hung up needing specific colors and them not appearing.
Let me
But
back you up here.
yeah, that
So
I think
this
there was a
double blue.
double blue that I should have taken horizontally.
Yeah, I saw it. And I think I remember. No, no, I don't think I ended up watching this whole one. Yeah, that one hurts me a little bit, but I bet you come back
Yeah,
to it.
watching it back afterwards, I was like, why didn't I take that horizontally? What why did I do that?
Nerves. It's always the answer is nerves.
Probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, saw the look on your
Yeah,
face too.
misplaced. Yep.
Girl Wonder, welcome in. And yeah, it's there we go. Getting out of the trash.
Hmm.
Like that, like
I
that.
think it
Very
was that
nice.
moment, that whole moment there I got hung up on, which slowed me down and let JB get ahead.
Well, again
If
though,
I
you've
remember
got
rightly though, my 7 was decent.
yeah, I mean, and you've got again very heavy yellow red dependencies here. There's just not much you can do about it. I mean, look at all this yellow. It's you are cursed with yellow this seed. Like all three boards so far have ended with yellows.
Yeah.
Good call there. Good call there.
I
So
think
yeah, go ahead.
the saving grace with having yellows at the end is that they're more common than, like, say, it's better than having all blues. Let's
Yeah,
put it that
right.
way. That said, I got loads of blues at the end, so if I got guaranteed, if I was left with blues, I would have been getting all yellows. Like, I wouldn't have been able to have a good time there anyway.
So I like the plans here, and I like your decision to just go ahead and start dumping those red blues down the pit. It just makes the most sense.
Mm.
It, you're not gonna get good RNG. I don't think that. Oh, I see what the plan was with that red yellow that you put face up in 6. If you'd slid it over one, you'd have gotten to it faster. Oh, that hurt. I'm hurting for your sake there.
Mm.
Wow, that was a little bigger combo than I saw.
Yeah, with that red yellow, in that little that the initial red yellow, I think I was like, I could slide this over, but it will set off what I want to do too soon, so I'm going to put it one less,
Yeah,
and then when I get the space, I'm gonna just let it all go. And it worked out, like, all things considered. Like,
yeah. I mean,
this 7 was really good.
yeah. For all your complaining, I mean, you're 2 viruses behind here. That's it.
Yeah.
For all you're saying that it was scuffed, I believe is the word you used.
Yeah, it felt scuffed at the time, at the very least, because I was just like, God damn it, I could have done that so much better. Looking back on it, it could have gone a lot worse. Like,
Yeah.
I've played worse than that, I think. So take what you can get, you know?
Right. 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 So I'm going to pause just as we get to the first virus, because I've got two things.
Mm.
One thing I want to check and one thing I want to ask. So let's let it get to the 3, 2, 1 pills, and we'll get to that. Doodly doo, doodly doo. This is me acting like I'm hold music. uh, yeah. I can go ahead and start asking. So you play on the Switch. Have you
Yes.
given any thought to original hardware or emulation?
I've been practicing on emulator recently, actually. Um, Last week there was a potential where I would have had to play on emulator because I was having basically my computer got upgraded, but other
Mm,
things that went weird during the upgrade at the computer shop. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have my computer back in time.
right.
So I was like, I should probably practice on emulator in case I don't have it. Um, Thankfully, I got it back by Thursday, so I was all good. It's by a miracle. And I think for the entirety of the tournament, I was just like, I'm just happy to be able to compete. I didn't have to play on emulator before I was ready to, that kind of mentality. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I had already asked my wife about borrowing her computer so that I could stream from my office if it came down to it. It's not ever going to be an ideal situation, but I was like, I could. And if I do that, I have to play on emulator. And in fact, I would have had to bring
Mm.
my controller. There's no way I could play it on keyboard. I don't. My brain does not work on keyboard yet, but I was also just checking your hot time for the 4 to 7 block. You do have the number 5 hot time all time. So,
Mm. Yeah,
oh,
I, I was very happy about that.
yeah, I every time I get into the silvers, I'm like, okay, if I play 4 to 7, it's time to take my record back. Because for the longest time, I had the hot time in 4 to 7, and I'm like, I kind of want it back. Luke's taking it, I want it back. All right, let's take a look at where you are now. I see two places I could put this red yellow. 3 4 is the
I
obvious.
I think that's where I went and put it. If I remember rightly, that's where I went and put it. It was either that or 1 2,
Yeah, 1 2 is the
like
less
one or the other.
obvious. And you do play on high, and on the Switch, the one negative I'm sure you figured out by now with the Switch is the input delay.
Oh yes.
That's why
Everyone gives me crap about it.
you won a tournament on the Switch, so give it right back.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, I think I'm playing the Switch purely out of spite to prove everyone you can play on it.
I mean, in 2020, the tournament was held over Switch. The Versus tournament was held over Switch, and that's what the Virus
Mm.
Busters League plays on. So it's not that nobody
Oh yeah, yeah.
else can. They just they hate the input delay so much.
Yeah.
But with 1 2, I like stacking up. Two on top, one on bottom. But with
Mm.
that double red still sitting there, it'd be rough. But I respect you either way on this one because you've got 3 4 as an option, and the
Mm.
chat is going nuts on you. Just go for it. Play it on the Switch. All right. Oh no, of course you laid a vertical down. I don't
I
love
was like, I
this.
remember it being somewhere in there,
I don't love
but
this vertical just because it depends on a double yellow or on you getting two blue yellows and a red yellow, but we can respect it. I mean, I guess it's a toughie, but let's see what you do. Let's see if you get it. Oh, you get your double yellow.
mm.
That's just gross for you. That's gonna make me angry. You getting all
Eddie
the
thinks
doctor
I
likes
have
you.
a ESP because of my playing.
Yeah, I believe it. Now let's
My
see.
my ESPN, as she put it.
Now, oh, nice, nicely laid out there. Yeah, you're gonna have no wasted pills here. Yeah, two that you
Yeah,
can't
44
use.
second 4 is not too shabby at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Laying it down. That's what I would have liked to see. And this putting the wrong thing on top. Oh, Yeah, you tapped your head. That was definitely a misdrop there. But that putting the wrong thing
Yeah.
on top so you can drop to the one below it, still not a skill that I have picked up particularly well. Putting the red on top instead of the blue, it's just goes against my instincts. And at this point, my instincts are getting so ingrained that I'm having trouble denying them.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I think when with that double red, I remember saying like as I entered level 5, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted. Like being happy about my level 4. And then I was like, that's less that's not what I wanted. That's not what I meant to do with the double red. And I was like, you know what? I can work with this. This isn't a problem.
right,
And yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see if you go for this D sandwich over here on column 8. Okay, yeah, you take them individually. That's a play where it's that far over. I have trouble with is getting that red out of the way, but taking
Hmm.
them individually, that makes sense too. It's an easy place to get hung up is trying to get the red out of the way so you can take the yellows together. I'm kind of glad you didn't try doing that.
And with the way the pills were going, I was just like, I should probably just go individual with it and hope for the best. Now, this play, I'm really proud of, honestly. I'm really proud of it.
I mean, there's something to be said about the speed of simplification, but you can't argue with results. So I just I can't say anything because you're getting results. And I swear if you take okay, I was gonna say I swear if you take that blue high up horizontally as well, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not. There's nothing I'm able to say to you.
And I'm lucky, but not that lucky, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. So you go for the horizontals. It does not matter. It's horizontal. You're taking it. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I learned that last week with Larva about T clears. All right. Yeah. Okay. And there go the horizontals again. I do not
Yep.
have those cojones when it comes to trying to pull off horizontals that frequently. I have maybe I know the game too well because it and I do not agree that on what I can do and what I can't. Which reminds me, you should play SNES more because that'll put you in all kinds of moods for pulling off crazy
Hmm.
combos because you can. All right.
Got
Oh,
so many double
nice.
blues on this board, it was ridiculous. I'm glad it worked out.
It's making up for all the double yellows you got on the last board.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah, and you trap that blue in the bottom, so
Mm.
that that hurts.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I think I managed to make it work somehow.
I mean, you can always take them out individually,
Hmm.
but maybe you don't. I don't know. Who's to say? You certainly win this one, so far be it from me. Okay. You do still get the horizontal, and yeah, I thought that was a double yellow, and I was gonna get and just be like, no, that's not how this game works. You don't get that too. All right, but yeah,
I know.
531.
Yeah, I think that tied with my previous PB, if I remember them saying correctly.
Mm, oh, look. Oh, oh. And at 531, it did, in fact. And it is currently the number 21 hot time. tied with
Mm.
yourself. But yeah,
Giving
okay.
myself good competition.
So, here are the nerves again. This has gotta be a toughie. I went so long when I first started before I ever got my first win because we didn't have a silver bracket at the time, and I was always in the bottom
Mm.
seeds facing off against just ridiculous competition, and it took me so long just to get one win. So nowadays, if I get one, I'm just like, okay, good. Okay, good. I didn't get swept. Every time. Every time. Yeah. You do look a little nervous, I'm going to say.
I was I was a little bit, but I was just like, whatever happens, it's always a good time going against JB. I know
Yeah.
this one's gonna be a close one, whatever is gonna happen. I think it was more of like nervous, but in the excited kind of like nerves, more than a oh crap, this could go badly kind of nerves.
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
just I was just hyped. It like after the 531, I was just like, you know what? I feel good.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, this could be worse.
Oh, oh, wait. I'm hearing that I might have
Oh,
potatoed. Oh, I did. So we're going to pause for just a second
not the
and
potato.
let my stream catch up with me.
Oh, yep, yep.
For some reason, my Discord is working just fine, but my OBS is not. And I just reset my router, so no, it's not that. So, okay. Letting the chat know. And are we back? I think we're back.
We're so
Back-ish.
back.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So, not sure what OBS did there, but hi again, everybody. Thanks
Oh,
for
OBS things.
yeah. Unfortunately, I had to shrink my OBS down to get to see what I'm trying to see, and I couldn't see that it was potatoing. But okay, little weirdness. Apologies, everyone. But we paused it, so Archer and I finished discussing the meaning of life while we were, off stream. We've got it figured out, and you know, we'll.
Hmm.
I think we don't have to have any further discussion on it.
No, no.
No. All right. So, but yeah, anytime for me, anytime it's not a two and out, I'm happy. If I get to play more than two games, I'm in a good place.
Mm.
And I'm just now realizing that that's a logo in the bottom right of your camera and not something like sitting on your desk.
It's like a little frog on
Oh,
my. It's part of my my
oh,
thing around my webcam is a little frog and cattails because my thing's the froggy pond, so it's yeah.
okay. Not gonna lie, on my like the low quality because I'm watching an old Twitch stream. Um,
Mm.
it looks like a Care Bear with hearts for eyes. The frog's eyes are its
I can kind of
ears.
see that as well.
Yeah, and it's the hearts that it's holding are like its eyes, and the frog body is the nose.
Mm.
I thought it was. I don't know if you're familiar with Bob's Burgers, but it looks like the Kochikomi doll that that Louise carries around. And I literally thought it was just
Oh,
laying on the back of your back side of your desk away from you until you moved behind it. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah. It's like, oh, that's not moving.
yeah.
What's up with that?
Okay, now we're waiting on the stream. Because
Yeah, because there was an ad that happened right then. I
oh,
think
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, red blue with another red blue right behind it. I
yeah.
mean, that's three
I have a
four.
feeling you're gonna get mad at one of my next plays. You'll see what I mean in a moment.
If you don't go 3-4-3-4, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what
Oh
to
no,
tell
I
you.
went 3-4-3-4, but
Okay,
you'll see.
good.
You'll see. You'll see what I mean. Benny knows what's up.
Excuse me. No, this makes sense. The fact that you got the double yellow,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
but whatever. Not all of us,
It's like sure, I guess.
yeah, not all of us got blessed by RNG.
It doesn't happen often. Most times, the doctor absolutely hates me. So
Hmm. So it would.
this set of games makes up for the October game where I just got bombarded with double yellows over and over again.
If you get
So
a blue yellow right now,
yeah.
yep, there it is. There it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Flindo's right. You get your RNGesus going. And you're getting a little bit of luck because JB's sitting over there with all those yellows, and I know that can't be pleasant for him.
Yeah.
But not to despair, I mean, we always talk about the negative RNG and the positive RNG, and it's like that doesn't say anything bad about the other player. It's just the game. It sucks.
Yeah. Like you can't do anything if you've got nothing to play with, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, how do you expect me to finish a board that has red pills with nothing but, or red viruses with nothing but blue pills? Yeah, that stack makes sense. There you go. Yeah, everything at this point.
Mm.
There are horizontals that make me go, why did you even bother? And then there's horizontals like that just make perfect sense. But I mean, there are people who say that about my playstyle too, I'm sure, because I'm the king of tucks. It's like my thing. So, oh, it ended one pill too soon. That double red blitz would have been much better if it ended one pill later.
Mm.
But there you go. Nice and clean. 228 out of 5. Nobody's complaining about that. Complain about those reds, though, because you just don't have any.
Yeah, so few reds compared to everything else.
Yep. And yeah, every bit of this makes sense. I hate that you didn't see your next bar, the double blue that was
Mm.
coming up next, but eh, it works. Interesting plays. There you go. And this is one of those where you're just like, can't waste a single yellow.
Gotta put them all to use.
Yep. And actually, really good shapes that allow for that as well. Oh, great double red. Yeah, that was the right move. You could have like forced it into a big T there, but that would have taken so much prep work.
Yeah.
And it's you and yellows again, by the way. I haven't been keeping up, but it's been you and yellows.
Just so many yellows.
All right. Yep, yep, yep. I love it when every pill makes sense. I always say that this game does not reward creativity when you're trying to speed run. Like when the doc makes you be creative in level 0, I don't want to be cute in level 0, doc.
Ugh.
It's That's just a guaranteed slow game.
Mm. It's like getting a high board at level 0. Just whenever I see those boards, I'm like, This is a reset. I'm not playing
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm. Betty trying to say that she's bad, like in the Michael Jackson
You're
way,
not
maybe.
bad.
I mean, and she really can't say that because she beat me for a silver championship once, so can't really call yourself bad when I'm around, Betty. Okay, okay. I see the plans. That's gonna reduce your drop time so bad. Oh, and there it is, PB, the number 5 time all time. And now let's all agree to never be creative again. Yeah. Wow. So what does that do for you in terms of nerves? Does that end the shakiness, or is it suddenly just
I
passed right
think
on to the next level?
I think it kind of did. Like I think something about losing the first crown in my brain, I think I took that personally. I was like, I'm not having this. And because it was just some wacky plays all throughout after this as well. Like I could not emulate what happened on Saturday. I could not do that again. I don't think. Something happened in my brain and it worked out.
I gotta say, we it's more of a packy thing, so it's gonna have to be him. But uh, you know, we're gonna have to make a meme it's gonna be packy, but you're in the same boat right now, of
Mm.
one crown down, and then the Michael Jordan going, and I took that personally because
Yeah.
that's pretty much what happens. So yeah, I'm glad you
Mm.
took it personally. It makes for better gaming.
Yeah, I think I even said on my stream after the first crown loss, I was like, I'm not having this. Like, I'm not losing. Or something like that. I'm not losing. I'm not having this be an easy win for JB. He's got to work for this. And
Now,
not to say that he didn't before, but I'm just, you know what I mean.
tell me what you think. This is just a little off topic. Excuse me. Sorry. Tell me what you think about the 4-up display and playing as one of 4 players that are on the board, with the knowledge that your performance against anybody but your opponent doesn't matter. Does it affect you? Do you look at it and try to be the first one out of the foursome out, or you just go, it doesn't matter? And how do you
I
feel if
think
you're
I
not the first one out?
I'd like to think that I don't let it affect me, but I feel like saying that would also be kind of lying, you know? Like I want to say that, but also like I'm nothing if not a bit competitive, you know? I like going fast and I like being flashy while doing it. So
Right.
if I can be both um while being one of 4 people on the screen, I think, I think that's quite nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, it kind of changes your goal. You're like, yeah, I want to
Hmm.
beat my opponent, of course, but I also want to beat the other 2 people. Oh.
Yeah. It's like if I'm not the fastest person on this screen, what am I even doing?
And then if you're doing practice ahead of time against 4 players, there's 4 up on the screen, and you're down there doing your practice. I don't know if you ever like race against the people that are on screen just to see how you'll do in that level block.
Uh, yeah, I do that sometimes, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe I might stop a little bit before, like
Right.
if
Right.
I
Right.
if I know I'm up next, then I'll be listening out. But now most times I am practicing the level block that everyone else is playing at the same time, just to keep myself up to snuff, you know?
Honestly, the feeling when you've got a 4 up and you beat all 4 of them, you're like, okay, let's do this. Let me play now.
Let me at 'em.
Yeah. So, my drop pushed Sarge right into the firing range. by which I mean he had to play you.
Mm,
Love Sarge. He's such a great guy. Um, Gets the worst RNG though. Just dude cannot
mm.
catch a break with this game. But
It's like I've seen him play plenty. He's a very good player. Like I went against him first in my first ever tournament, and he was a very, very tough match. And the final in August, like a very tough match then as well. Like
yeah,
any wins I've taken from him, it's not been an easy game by any means. Like
right. Yeah, Sarge is a good player. He deserves better than what I feel like he deserves better than what he usually
yeah.
gets out of the game. It's
Mm,
it's just it's rough. Sometimes it can get rough, but like you said, it's he's a tough player to play against. I was looking forward to getting a match against him, having some fun, but here he is.
mm.
And I always just assume that that little bit of fog on his camera is just the cold because of how far north he
Mm.
is. Which I don't know.
Yeah,
The
rather chilly.
geographic uh, Europe is so weird to me because everything is so much further north than I think it should be. Like Paris and New York City are on an even latitude,
Mm.
and to me, New York is so hot or so cold, and Paris is more temperate. So I have trouble with it. So for all I know,
Yeah.
you and Sarge are
And
on
most
similar latitudes.
Yeah, most the thing with European geography is that even if we're on the same like kind of plane almost as say like New York or what have you, we get the winds and the pressure and that from the Mediterranean, which
Right.
makes it warmer.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we could have bitterly cold winters because we get the pressures and the winds and everything from the North Sea coming from like Northern Europe, like Norway and Sweden, Finland, that lot. So it really is a mixed bag. Like the UK specifically is very temperate a lot of the time, but we can get quite hot weather and we can get quite cold weather. It really does depend on honestly what blows our way half the time.
Yeah. I mean, I live in Florida, so you're not telling me anything I don't know about weird weather. but I mean, we're on the same latitude as like Morocco or something. It's I no, it's even further south because I want to say Morocco or Egypt and Tennessee are about the same where I used to live. So it's just crazy. It's all crazy to me. Anyway, they didn't want to hear us talking about weather. I think having looked at this board as long as I have now, I think I prefer 6 for this double yellow, even though 5 is an easy clear. Just because I
I
just see the doctor giving you a yellow red right after this, and you not having where to put it.
I think I might have gone 6, but I also cannot fully remember. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I also went 5
Yeah,
because of the easy clear, but
right. It's such a habit. So let's see if you
mm,
go for the 6. Yep, you go for the 6. And what did I say? It's a red yellow right afterwards.
mm.
So yeah. Oh, your ESPN is so strong. Okay.
I've got to try the lottery next to see if I can get anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I once heard somebody say it's the exact opposite of what you should do because if you're getting good luck in a big thing, your luck should even out. So if you just got good luck, you should expect bad luck afterwards.
Oh yeah.
On balance, anyway. Oh, that got tapped over. Yeah, that will happen even not on Switch. Those extra inputs are a pain.
what was that? The double yellow that you were?
I think so. Yeah, all the way
No,
on the
I
bottom
think I
right.
did that. I think I did that on purpose. I think I did that on
Of
purpose.
course you
Like,
did.
because I was like, oh, I can do this.
Of course you did. Yeah.
It's it's funny because like some people I think have commentated before and are just like, that looks like a misplay, and then the board explodes, and they're like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, we have a tendency to do that. We've most of us have learned better, but mostly because Adelito, um, nobody
Yeah,
knows what he's thinking. I've interviewed him and
he,
I'm not
he
sure I know
he's
what he's thinking.
he's in a league of his own half the time. Like,
Hmm.
it's ridiculous.
It really is, and that I have chatted with a lot of very intelligent people who play this game very well. Adelito is the one player that I'm like, I need to go back and watch what he said to me and then like memorize it.
Mm,
I'm trying to learn from everybody here, but that one I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's a whole nother level of thinking going on beyond anything I can imagine.
mm.
Nice play there. So yeah, you definitely have some interesting methods and ideas kind of all happening at once here. You're a fun player to watch, and that's going to endear you to the community permanently.
It's like it doesn't matter to me how things go so long as I don't make a fool of myself and I make everything else entertaining. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
if it
that's
looks fun, I've done my job.
yeah. Somehow I always manage to make the game look harder than it is. I think, but it's the way of things. Making it look more fun always helpful. So yep, so far so good.
Oh yeah,
Everything's been obvious.
this is my unnecessary combo level, I think.
Oh no, can't
Well,
wait.
it seems unnecessary to me, but
I mean,
it's all in good fun.
I'll probably see it that way too, but that's okay. I'm not the one playing this game. No, that makes sense so far. I mean, it's been an efficient use of pills. All right, I'm going to back one up because it's the sort of play that you would make, and I want to point it out
Yep.
for you. Um, you might have seen it. So, tucking that red blue underneath, because you had a double
Mm.
red coming up next, you could have taken out all four of those reds in a T.
Yep. I could have done, yeah, but
I mean, could have done is always gonna be part of this game. Get the double? Yeah, you get the double. That's right. You should have heard Savage talking about her own game. She was calling herself a saucy minx, which doesn't surprise me. She does that sort of thing. But yeah, she got real excited watching her match back.
mm.
No, I don't think there's anything unnecessary in this at all. Like you made really good choices waiting on those reds so that you didn't accidentally trigger a combo too early. Unless you like try to get that blue at the top with this fat log at the bottom and you don't. So no, I don't think there's anything unnecessary that's happened at all in this eight, which means it's probably still
I think
coming.
the big beginning of the board felt I think the big beginning of the board felt more unnecessary than it needed. Like it the beginning of this board I know I messed up with initially.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Like
argue with
half the
that.
plays I was like, what am I doing?
But then it all kind of works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. And this is really high level thinking. Like clearing it out that way again, you've got a very versus style, and there's it's it's clear. I would be afraid of matching up against you in versus, especially in a live tournament.
Hmm.
Have you given thought to playing in the Virus
Well,
Buster League?
maybe one day. I tried to play, I think it was in the previous tournament, but something came up, like life stuff happened, and I was unable to fully commit myself to it, so I stepped down. And then the entrance for this season's one came and went, and I was busy with Christmas stuff, so I didn't even notice it was open. So
Totally fair.
I think next time it rolls around, I'll see about rejoining.
That'll be something to watch out for. Uh,
Mm.
I I didn't know much about the versus scene until we did like it was one of the very first restreams of a Virus Busters final. And I remember it was Noizzle and Pan Ban Richard. And I'd never heard of
Mm.
Richard. I'd never actually seen Noizzle play. And right then and there, I had been toying with the idea of doing Virus Busters. And right then and there, I decided I'm never doing Virus Busters because they scared the ever loving bejeebers out of me.
Mm.
It's they are
I,
something else to watch.
I think I've seen Betty play against Pan Ban before, and he he looks quite intimidating to play against, definitely.
Yeah,
No Whistle as well, but I've just not seen No Whistle play quite so much. So
right. Yeah, I Betty and I got to call Pan Ban's match against DM Hero last year at in Columbus, and it was one of the best matches I have ever gotten to call.
mm,
But yep, 7.5. Good time. Oh, that's good. If you had tilted it over to the, oh, that was not you. That's I'm watching Sarge finish up, and I'm like, wait, if you'd done this, you
yeah,
could have
yeah,
gotten the horizontal and the vertical. It's the commentary and analysis brain. It's just constantly working.
yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty close match between us. I think even Sarge said that he thought that level 9 got away from him, which it is a shame because it was very neck and neck for a lot of that, if
Yeah,
I remember rightly.
yeah, I think you're right. All right, so we're waiting on the next match to start. Yeah, at this point, I think you're zoned in. I mean, you've already gotten a PB in the previous block. You know, you've been through this before. You've beaten almost everybody who's left in the tournament. So, yeah, I think at this point you're just like, let's do this.
Yeah, and it was just like, who's next? Come at me. I'll take you down.
Ooh, interesting puzzle. All right, yeah, I think 6-7 is as good a choice as you could make. Going 2-3 is the
Hmm.
only other thing I saw, but even that leaves you with those two offset reds, and that's not fun. So
No.
I like talking about the first pill
I think I
because
went horizontal. I think I went horizontal or like a cross or something in that cluster where I put the yellow blue just there,
oh,
I
you think you're
think.
gonna place
Anyway,
place this next one vertically on
I
7,
think I think I did, yeah.
putting yourself fully in need of a double yellow with really no other outs. Okay, let's watch a double yellow come up next on the next pill. It was double red. There's the double yellow. Okay,
Yeah. I was like, I remember a horizontal happening somewhere here.
because of course it did.
Yeah, and here I did some kind of pill wizardry. I don't know what happened, but it worked.
Yeah, I'm not sure which bit. I mean, yeah.
this bit.
Yeah, no, that I saw most of that coming. There was one little bit of it, like the yellow. I saw it once you placed the pill. I don't think I would have seen it in time to actually make it happen myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a nice bit of work. So what are the odds of us getting
Yeah,
you in the
it
booth?
was a
Oh, go ahead.
or what commentating.
Yes.
I, I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be quite fun.
Good.
I was actually thinking the other day, like, what are the like how do you become a commentator? Like, I wouldn't mind
Savage
attempting to.
Savage has mentioned it on stream in the past. You let her know that you're interested, and she basically puts you through commentary on some old matches. Like you guys do some practice commentary together, so you kind of get a feel for it,
Hmm.
and then it's pretty much it. That is a very excessive use of double reds. All right.
Yeah, that was not meant to be. That wasn't meant to happen. And I just kind of was
Well,
like, okay, I messed this up.
all right.
Let's do
Well,
something else.
let's back it up, and you tell me to stop when you see something that you're just like, oh, I think
Right. So the beginning bit was all fine.
right.
Like I was getting a little bit of a red rush there. That red, I I think that red I think might have meant to have been horizontal, not horizontal. I might have meant to try and turn it or something, or maybe I
Vertically
meant to play it
into.
like that. But I think it's the next red where I was just like, why did I do that? You know,
I mean, it worked out.
like
You you play the next
it
one
did.
vertically.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see is that you've got those paired up in one. That I mean, you're destroying the pair with the
Mm.
next virus. So I see what you were trying to do though. You were trying to leave something for your yellow orange, your yellow red to come up, and because there's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
coming. So I understand leaving that on top. I don't know. I think I would have gone ahead and dug down since you've got so many of them there on that left hand side and just tried to get all of
Mm.
those as much as you could. But I mean, it worked out. This most recent one is probably the most interesting one that I saw. Like, okay, you made that choice. I don't disagree with it wholeheartedly, but it works. So yeah, this vertical, I that one took me a second, but then I saw that you had this option coming right up, so it worked out for you.
Yeah. I think that vertical, I didn't mean to play it that way, but it worked. And I was just like, okay, I'm not going to disagree with this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to, look a gift pill in the mouth or whatever.
yeah. I think at this point, Sarge, judging by the head shaking, he is desperate to get something. I think it was a blue that
Yeah.
he just really needed, and he just was not getting it. His frustration's already just so high. But all right,
Mm.
now it's all these reds, and this is the point in commentary where I
Well,
look
first
over
it
and
was
go,
yellows, now it's reds.
yeah. This is the point in commentary where I go, that's a lot of reds, Doc. But considering you'd already had a pretty large double red rush, wow. Okay, I'm assuming that blue
That
was
blue
not supposed to
was
go there.
that was not. I
Okay,
think I pulled a face as well when I did that. I was like, didn't mean to do that.
but I like this prioritization. Getting that way, you don't have to worry about that extra half second of drop time. So very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. If you see a horizontal, you're taking a horizontal. I will learn that. I will mention that the next time I'm
Yeah.
commentating one of your matches. When somebody goes, "Oh, I think Archer's about
I
to," I'm going to
think
go, "No, there's a horizontal available."
I think even Betty said that in the commentary, just like, yeah, if Archer sees a horizontal, they're going for it. Kind
Yep.
of, or words to that effect,
Yeah, that sounds like something Betty would say. I mean, she's in the chat, but she won't. She, we don't have to listen to her, so we can say whatever we want about her now. I'm joking. I don't let anything stop me from saying whatever I want about Betty, and she knows it. You picked a really good mentor, and
Mm.
a very unique one because we know her play style, and it was obvious day one. We were like, this Archer kid looks like somebody who's watched a lot of Betty play.
Yep.
It's been very obvious from the word go.
I think you said in October. Was it October?
Might have
I,
been.
or maybe no, September. September it was. I've been like watching back on various things as practice, so I just have remembered these things anyway. But I think you said in the commentary when I was against Dave uh, that y'all had been saying that I was like the new Betty,
Hmm.
which I think is a huge compliment for the record. I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
I think I said this to Betty as well, and Betty was like, "It's like I hope you don't take offense to that." I was like, "Why would I take offense to that?" I I love that. That's a very nice thing for people to think. In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we got Sarge here thrown in the towel. Um,
Yeah, I think at this point I realized that, and I wasn't sure the protocol,
you did the
which
right
is why
thing.
I started slowing down, and
Yeah. I
I was
mean,
just like, "What am I doing?"
yeah. The protocol is you have to finish out the bracket,
Yeah,
the level block. So I'm sure they would
yeah.
have
No,
mentioned it in chat.
they did mention it, and thankfully it was before I topped out fully. So I did start to top out, but I wasn't down pressing because, as I said, I didn't know and I didn't want to risk
Right. Right.
it
Right. Right. Right.
it being a you know um. And then I saw I think Dave and Savage both said you need to finish. I was like, oh okay, and then just pedal pedal to the metal as they say.
Yeah.
I honestly feel as if I hadn't have made that tower, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously I thought like that was the end of it. I didn't know what to do. Um, I feel like hadn't I if I had have just ignored it completely and played, I may well have gotten a sub 7, and I'm like kind of annoyed, but also how was I supposed to know? You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
I've never had anyone forfeit before. I've never seen anyone do that before. Like not in
I
that kind of way.
I can only think of one, maybe two instances where it's ever happened before. Uh, and one of them, it was not the final match of the bracket, and it was long before most of our players were keeping an eye on each other or on anything but their own screen. You know,
Mm.
oh, okay, so it has happened at least twice then, because the one I was thinking of was Leviticus ages ago.
Oh.
Yeah, ages ago, and it was seriously, it was his first loss in that particular match, and he was just like, "Let's." I don't want to sit here and get more frustrated.
I think that's fair, I
Yeah,
think. If you know you're getting tilted, then and
right.
you know roughly what the outcome's going to be if you keep trying it, then understandably.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, I do feel like with how I was playing before the forfeit, I honestly think I could have gotten a sub 7. I
Hmm.
think it was in the books. And
Well,
I'm kind of kicking myself, but it's also like, again, as I said, it's like, how was I to know that was going to happen? I don't know the protocol until, well, I didn't until now. So,
right. And checking your time. Yo, you've got a sub 7. You do, in fact,
yeah,
have
I got
one
it in the September, not September,
in the.
December even, wrong
Yes.
month.
Yes, you did.
That was against Ibar.
Ah, there you go. That information I don't have. And let's see, that was
I
the
only
one
remember that because I
five.
knew he stomped me.
So I'm guessing right about here is where the. Nope, we're still with Pullman and Slay. So every time we slay, no, Pullman. It was Pullman. I forgot.
Yeah.
But at this point, I knew I wasn't going to be needed, so I was just kind of sitting down, uh, half listening, half like playing Mario 3 or something. I don't remember. I don't think
Mm.
we've ever had an all European finals. I'll have to look. I know we've had like,
Mm.
Frank and Adelito have played. They're in, you know, not, uh, they're neither one in the U.S. or Canada, but I'm trying to think. I don't think we've had one before. I'll have to look because being a
You're
historian
one
is
of the
kind of my
few.
thing. Yeah.
Mm.
All right, 8 to 11. What do you think about the 8 to 11 block? You only get to do it like
Um.
3 times now.
Uh. Yeah. Three. This would have been my third time because I think first time was June, second time was September. Yeah. I think I. I'm not a fan of it.
Fair.
I'll be honest. I've never had a. I've never had a brilliant set of 8 to 11s. Mostly because, like, oh, you get a bad level 8, that sets the tone for everything else, you know? And but I think with this with this go round, I feel like my level 8s were nice.
Yeah.
And that just set everything into motion. I was like, I can do this. This is fine. Whatever, you know?
And I just looked. This was your fourth time in the finals because you did have the August
Oh,
win.
fourth time.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one where there was like fewer people in general, I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, oh, I completely forgot. Yeah. But yeah, 8 to 11, it's very hit or miss. Like I've over time I have been kind of practicing alongside. Typically, I'll practice alongside the gold bracket equivalent of those level brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So like for gold, like 6 to 9 would be round one, and I mean
Right.
you know obviously, but I would practice alongside those like round one and two of gold on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
listening back and watching them while I'm practicing my equivalents, and essentially using their times to see how I can better my playstyle and see how I can optimize things to be quicker and to see do I like basically like do I take this pill in this position or is putting it here quicker, for instance? Like,
Right.
is this one gonna make a an L clear with like say 4 viruses gone, or should I take this to just easy clear a 2 virus pile or whatever? Say if I got like a couple double reds or whatever on that board, like where would I put them? That kind of thing. Um, and just kind of working through optimization because especially with the input delay, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be faffing around making decisions and getting missed inputs. I need to be smart about how I play and where I play things because I can very easily mess it up.
All makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I my practice focuses heavily on 6 to 9 because for the majority of the tournaments I've ever played in, that's as far as I get. It's level one. And I spent a lot
Mm.
of time trying to focus on getting my 6 to 9s better. But, so when I get to 8 to 11, I'm just like, oh, right, this level block exists. I almost forgot.
I
So,
never thought I'd get this far.
right, right. Okay. Um, I've got ideas on this yellow. What is your
I
first
think that went
instinct?
on top of the. I believe that went on top of the first of the double blues.
Okay.
Um, I think that what is that row
Four.
column 4,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
because I think I was setting up for the blue horizontal to drop down for the double yellow.
Yeah. My instinct is to tuck it down and get that double yellow horizontally, but that's just because it's a flashy play. I like that. In fact, I would almost even go ahead and lay it down sideways on 4-5 with the hopes of getting
Mm.
a blue yellow and a blue red, and maybe seeing like some way to hit those reds horizontally and vertically and get the T clear in addition to all of it,
Mm.
and just break the whole freaking game all at once.
Yeah, no, I think my ESPN was telling me that I had blue yellows in my future or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
just
like
had a feeling.
there. It's hard to find a setup that doesn't look right for this one with all those horizontals just
Mm.
laying there. So yeah, I think vertically on 4 is a perfectly clever play, and yep, that's it. ESPN definitely playing for free in your brain. Interesting, interesting. And there's the red yellow you need. Have you crashed the game yet?
Um, not in tournament play. I have crashed it. Well, not fully crashed it. I've been close.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple clips that I've gotten of it happening on stream, and I'm like, oops, didn't mean to do
Yeah,
that. It's very, very fun though when it happens because it's just all kinds of noises and weird stuff happening. I'm just like, oops.
I play
Oh
almost
well.
exclusively on medium, so I've never actually broken the game. I came really close one time, and I think it was in tournament play. I had the glitch, but not the full glitch. You know what I mean? Where it
Oh yeah, yeah.
it it,
Like where
it
it kind of thinks
stutters.
about it and then it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm fine.
All right.
Oh, so many blue.
Smart play. Yeah, you're prioritized, and now the double. Oh, exactly what you wanted. Under
Mm.
a minute and a half out of 8, any 8, that's a good thing.
Mm.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Double red. Didn't need to be clever. Just needed the double red. I can't with you right now. I just can't. No, it's nice to see somebody get good RNG for once in this game. But even then, I mean,
Especially on a level 8.
yeah, especially on a level 8, it just means the whole curse may be over. But I mean, honestly, you can get the best RNG in the world, and if you don't know what to do with it,
Yeah.
you kind of sunk. So don't want to
I
negate
think
the
I
quality of
think
the
this
gameplay.
one was unnecessary comboing going on here. Because I think I was going to set up for the blue red in the bottom right corner,
Hmm.
and it took forever, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, blue is such a minor need color. Oh wow, yeah, you are going for it, aren't you? And
Yep.
that's not gonna work. Okay,
No.
but
I think I
again,
just knew it wasn't going to work, and I was just like, I need to clear this. This is a mess.
yeah, and it's not like blue is a critical color in this block or in this level. Mm. Yeah, you're gonna bridge. Oh no, you're gonna underclear. Okay, I thought maybe you were looking at a bridge using basically popping that red in column 8 off late so that you could get the blue
Hmm.
horizontally. I thought maybe that was your plan, but it didn't work out that way.
I think it was one of those moments where it was like, there were a few options. Which one do I go for?
The most complicated one. Uh,
Yep. Unfortunately.
we are creatures of habit. We do what we do.
Yep.
And here comes the horizontal setup. And of
Yeah, there I
course you
was
get
trying to.
it.
I think I was trying to set it off sooner, but then I was like, this isn't working. I'm not getting the pills. So I set off something else. And then I got the horizontal. I was like, that's better.
Right. All right. Yeah, and this is again the game making you be clever,
Yep.
and that's never what we want the game to make us do. Yes, okay. Anytime you
Oh,
can clear out garbage and get a fat log out of it too, bravo. With all the yellow needs, like there's just so little yellow left.
mm.
You stack it. Of course you stack it, and you're gonna get it. Yeah, and mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. And the double yellow to clear out the garbage so you can set up for the next horizontal.
Just perfect RNG.
Mm-hmm. Now let's see if ESPN tells you to do a double blue. It does not. Okay, because you had
No,
the
that it took 3 to 5 business days.
yeah. Actually, the double blue did crop up right after. I don't know if you saw,
Yeah,
but too late to figure it out.
yeah. I was like, I think I was thinking I could try and get a blue yellow, because I felt as if I might get that, but
Yeah, you have to play the odds sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
The ESPN joke is gonna make an appearance when I commentate on your matches. Now, I will tell you that right now.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Yep, that worked out. I would have thought you would have gone with a yellow red the opposite direction of the way you did to set up for I saw a potential L clear, but
Mm.
it may be more of a larva thing. I love learning everybody's specific tendencies. This is fun.
I'm just happy someone could see my tendencies, because I'm not paying attention to them half the time. I'm just like,
Well,
gotta
no,
play this pill.
yeah, yeah. You have to play this
I
game
don't
one
think
pill at a
about it.
time, and kind
Yeah.
of hope the right ones show up. No, it's just It's pure jealousy. It's all it is.
Yeah.
There was a time where Savage Octagon and Sarah Sparkles, when she was still an active player, were discussing or would make a joke about Dr. Mario being their mutual ex-boyfriend, and that's the only reason Sarah ever got what she wanted out of the dog.
It wasn't Sarah the one who like asks nicely
Mm-hmm.
for pills
That's
to try and get the
exactly.
doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've heard Betty. I think I've heard Betty, and I think Flindo as well has referred to that before. I think the first time it happened, I was just like, what does that mean?" Because I wasn't familiar with
Right.
Sarah Sparkles at the time, because I was still quite fresh in the game.
Yeah. Sarah's one of those people who
But
is
now I know.
not quite convinced that any other game exists besides Dr. Mario. And yeah, her when she got an injury and was no longer able to play for hopefully not for forever, but uh,
Mm.
it was a sad time for all of us because she's a sweet gal.
Mm. Yeah, I believe the 749 was a PB for me. Well, by
I will
tournament
take a look.
standards anyway, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look. 8 to 11
Well,
times four
compared
one.
to the previous one
ArcherLewys.
anyway.
531. No, that's 4 to 7. Give me 8 to 11. You said 749. Yeah, that was a PB. In fact. Oh, that is scary watching your times just get better. Because your
I
two
think I
tunes,
cut down my PB by like a minute nearly, I think.
well, you've got 6 times listed in 8 to 11. I don't know where your September times went, but It's the 2 Junes at the bottom, then the 2 Augusts, then the 2 Januaries. That's frightening, my friend, because it just means you're doing nothing but getting better. You did not have
I'm
that.
always learning how to do better.
Yeah. Thankfully, your 6 to 9s did not do that, so I won't be as frightened of that.
Mm.
But all right, I did not
Yes,
pause it. We'll
I think yeah, I think 6 to 9s are the only ones that I haven't fully cracked yet. Like on my own, I've managed to get quite a few sub sevens,
mm-hmm.
but it's a lot harder to get them in tournament play for whatever reason.
Yeah, I that's me with sub 6s. I think I have one in tournament play. No, I might have a sub 6. I don't remember, but half the time it's all I can do to get a sub 7, and you know,
Mm.
it's like you said, it's harder to do in tournament play. Ooh, you got some real red dependencies going on here. And now, yeah, your prioritization.
Sometimes I feel like I combo just for the sake of combo. Like
You don't say.
it's so excessive, and yet and
It's,
yet it's fun.
yeah. No, it can feel that way,
Mm.
but as long as it doesn't slow you down. And I will say there are players. I won't name any names here, but oh no, you were set for the time, and it was not. Okay, there it goes. There's at least one player I've seen who has gone for really swaggy combos, and it's turned around and been it turned out to be a problem. Like slowed that player
Mm.
down, but so far it hasn't been a problem for you. How you doing on your swims? Have you started figuring out the proper movements and when you can and can't?
I I think I've gotten some swims before. I think I think it's more difficult because of the input lag on the Switch though. Like I've definitely gotten some, but it's finicky. Like I think it's finicky enough already because it's near frame perfect getting a good swim half the time, I feel. But it, getting frame perfect inputs on the Switch, good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah.
Good luck.
And I will say that is I still remember when swims were this mythical concept that Dave Smith was trying to impress upon people. I I,
Mm.
I know he wasn't the first one to do it, but he was definitely one of the early people discussing it, and nobody really did it ever, much less in tournament play. And seeing it happen in tournament play as much as it does, it's really interesting. Just as a newer strat.
And I think I have managed to do a couple swims like in tournament play before. I'm pretty certain in one of the tournaments I remember JB when I was looking back on the commentary. JB said, "Oh, that was a really good swim by by Archer." And I was like, "Okay, that was a swim. Awesome."
Yeah, I've been there too. It's like, oh, that was that. Is that what I was doing? I thought it was just a regular play.
I was just
Oh,
spamming the buttons. I don't know what I was doing.
that came across perfectly.
Mm.
And triples happen so rarely in Dr. Mario that I'm starting to get agitated at the fact you haven't taken it yet. There it is. Okay. Oh.
I think I saw the triple, but I didn't want to take it yet because I was like, I want to lower the board first before I do anything else. Because it was everything was still stacked rather high up.
Yeah.
And plus, I think I also saw at that point I had time. I didn't need to rush necessarily.
From watching the stream, or do you watch your opponent's stream?
I watched the DRMC.
Okay.
I just I've considered watching the opponent's stream before, but I just find it easier to just watch the DRMC because as it happens, I'm already there.
Hmm.
Might as well.
Yeah, I like having that real time. Let me keep an eye on my opponent, and I can also listen to it because I've got, I can listen to their audio and go, oh, okay, they haven't finished the level, or I can tell when they have finished. It's kind of nice, but
Hmm.
I do not recommend it to anybody who's already got their thing. Ooh, it's cheeky plays. Oh, that double yellow. It was right there. But you get another double yellow. And honestly, yellow is
Hmm.
not such a critical color in this this level that it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, there were not many yellows on this board, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Yellow efficiency just does not matter. And at this point, you are 18 viruses away from a championship. Interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah. That one was a misdrop, and you can't convince me
that was, yep.
otherwise.
Yeah, I pulled a face. You can always
You
tell when I
did.
make a misdrop because I will always pull a face.
You absolutely did.
Just
I
like,
looked up and saw
dang
it.
it. It's like, that wasn't meant to go there. What am I doing? I made it work though,
Yep.
so.
Yes, you did. And if you'd flip that red yellow the other way around, well, you'd have still had a red to deal with. So I guess it doesn't really matter. I was thinking that would have
Hmm.
given you a clearer horizontal, but no, I was incorrect. And of course, the finish it pill never shows up when you want it to, but a 740, another good time. Sub eights are kind of what I aim for when it comes to this level block. So yeah, you got to feel good about that.
Yeah, I think I felt pretty decent about it beforehand, knowing that I'd won.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I looked back on the DRMC website and like just looking back on everything, I was just like, oh, that's two PBs in one go of 8 to 11. All right.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm even happier about that.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting watching your play because, like I said, it's such a different style from most of the top players. That combo style used to be a lot bigger than it was. But even players like
Mm.
Betty who really focus on their combos have stepped away from that style a little bit more. So it's really interesting seeing somebody who can still go out there and win with it. Um, Chris Bidwell early on, that was like combo was such a big part of his game. But yeah, it's
Mm.
really interesting to see what you put together there.
I think big combo plays is one thing, and doing them on the Switch when everyone is I wouldn't say giving me crap for it. I think I joke around with it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm on the Switch. What about it? But honestly, I like to I want to try and be on the Switch as long as I can, if only so that newer people don't feel as, I guess, intimidated to jump right into emulator or whatever. If they have access to the Switch, I'm kind of here proving you can play and you can do well on the
Right.
Switch if you just get at it, you know. You just need to try. You know,
Yeah.
it may take a little bit of getting used to, but like if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything if you really push it, you know. And
Yes, but I would
yeah,
I would strongly recommend with your quality of play, you consider get on the emulators. I would even say if you can get yourself an original, or even the NES Classic. We've got several players I think who have or still do play on the Classic. I think Betty does. That's probably the easiest way to get in
yeah,
outside of the emulators. But yeah, no, I mean
yeah,
it's still amazing seeing you play this well on a Switch.
yeah. No, I have started not on stream, but I have started making the gradual switch over to emulators. Like I'm just trying to get used to it at this point. But it's a case of like I can still play well on the Switch. I'm gonna do this for as long as I can until I feel confident with emulator. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to just go out with an emulator and then do badly after being able to play well on a different, bit of hardware. It's just kind of getting used to a different thing, you know.
I mean that's true. Even switching from medium to high, high to medium, the little bit you don't realize it until you start making very precise movements and realize that oh I can't make those movements anymore. It's because
Mm.
you've got your plans on timing and it's just a little bit off. So yeah, I mean you do what makes you the most comfortable. I just have a hard time believing it's going to be the Switch for very long. It does just
Oh
out
no,
of
I,
curiosity.
I think. Mm.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think I've got like a few months or so at least left in me for the Switch. I think sometime this year I will probably make the switch over to emulator, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it for now, you know.
Fair enough. Out of curiosity, are you using Joy Cons or are you using an external?
I I'm using Joy Cons because
Nice.
apparently I'm a glutton for punishment.
Nice. I mean, listen, I have put. I'm almost level 10,000 on Mario Kart using just Joy Cons. So huzzah, huzzah for you! Up until my internet made it impossible for me to play Nintendo originals
Mm.
online. I found that out the day you and I were going to play.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it turned out I can't play.
very confusing moment for that to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've got new internet, and they that particular brand of internet just does not work with a lot of Switch Online options. Just the Nintendo based ones. Other games I can play online, but not Nintendo ones. But oh well.
Oof.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else unless you are just itching to look at your October tournament. Uh, but I know it's getting kind of
No, I think
late.
for the October one, I think I'm all right because I just know the match against JB specifically, I got bombarded with yellows and I don't need to see that again.
Fair
uh,
enough. Well, anything you want to add? Anything you want to say? The floor is yours.
I mean, aside from what regarding, as I said, like if anyone who's new is listening to this, just like don't be afraid to try because you never know what you're going to get out of it. Um, if you're not new, which I'm sure everyone here is not new, um, just keep pushing for your goals. Keep fighting the good fight. As I said, you never know what could happen.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say a big thank you, Archer, for hanging out, especially with the time difference. I know it is late o'clock out there, but it's been a lot of fun hanging out and watching this tournament back. I've learned a lot. I hope you have too, and actually,
Yeah.
you taught a lot, if nothing else, and I cannot wait to see what you're going to put together for the rest of the season.
I'm excited to see what the seasons throw, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, big thank you to everybody else who has been here. I'm going to put us on AFK here in a second and try to get us on a raid. So, hopefully, there's somebody else out there playing Dr. Mario. But thank you again for hanging out. And until next time, as always, be good, be safe, be happy, and we will see you next time.